I'm not even cool. I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of and not die. I'm not even cool. I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of and not die.
A few moments later.
The teen accused of slamming her car at 100 miles per hour into a brick wall, killing her 20-year-old boyfriend Dominic Russo and his friend 19-year-old Davian Flanagan, who was sitting in the back seat.
I have to weigh the punishment. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison.
That's Cuyahoga County Judge Margaret Russo. Today, she sentenced 19-year-old Mackenzie Shirilla to 2 concurrent life sentences in prison for a car crash that killed her boyfriend and friend last July.
So let me update you on the story of the TikTok teen who was convicted of murder. Okay, this is Mackenzie Shirilla. She is a TikTok superstar. And in 2022, she found herself at the center of a murder trial. Prosecutors had charged Mackenzie in the death of her 20-year-old boyfriend Dominic Russo and their 19-year-old friend Davian Flanagan. So let me walk you through what happened. On July 31st, 2022, at about 5:30 in the morning, Mackenzie was driving her Toyota Camry with both Dominic and Davian in the car. Then all of a sudden, the car starts going at about 100 miles an hour and slams into a brick wall.
First, you can see the car making a normal right-hand turn here. Okay, everything's normal. Then
Now, Mackenzie was injured in the accident and both her friends lost their lives. Now, initially, police thought this was just a horrible accident. But then, during the police investigation, it looked like this wasn't an accident. She intentionally tried to kill these 2 young men. Police found out that Mackenzie had threatened to crash the car before, saying that I will crash this car right now, during an argument with Dominique. Police then also found out that Mackenzie did a practice run before the horrible accident.
Prosecutors said Mackenzie was on a mission of death and had methodically planned a murder-suicide. She even conducted a practice run several days earlier.
Now, the last piece of evidence actually came from the car itself. See, in modern cars, they're able to tell if you let up off the gas or you hit the brake during an accident to help find out who's at fault. And in this case, they found out that Mackenzie had pushed the gas pedal down to the floor. So in other words, she wasn't trying to brake, she wasn't trying to swerve, she hit the gas pedal and kept the gas pedal depressed all the way through the accident.
In this surveillance video, you can hear Mackenzie's car whizzing by like a speeding rocket. Then you hear the crash right into the brick wall. Evidence at the trial indicated Mackenzie wore her fuzzy Prada slippers and that the accelerator pedal was being pushed down at 100% capacity.
Now, if you look at all the evidence that was presented by the prosecution, they made a compelling case that Mackenzie intentionally drove into the building to try to kill these 2 young men. So prosecutors felt they had all they needed to charge her with aggravated murder, felonious assault, aggravated vehicular homicide, trafficking, drug possession, and possessing criminal tools. They found magic mushrooms and some other drugs in the car. Now, Mackenzie opted for a judge trial rather than a jury trial because the emotional nature of 2 young men losing their lives, Mackenzie thought that she would have a better shot with the judge. Now, Mackenzie's defense team argued that this was a horrible, horrible accident. It was due to her inexperience as a driver, marijuana use, and panic. She essentially lost control of the car and didn't intend to kill anybody. The defense also made it clear that even though she does crazy stuff on TikTok, she had no history of any serious criminal behavior, and that this was just a reckless, tragic accident rather than murder. Now, the prosecution's case was simple. Mackenzie had threatened to kill Dominique in a car before. Her behavior of accelerating to 100 miles an hour and not attempting to brake or even remove her foot from the gas pedal showed that she was clearly intending to crash the car at a high speed, and the use of drugs and prior scouting the area to find out the best ways to crash the car showed a state of mind, a premeditated murder. So with all that evidence being presented to the judge, who is sitting as the jury in this particular case, came to a decision.
She had a mission and she executed it with precision. The mission was death. Mackenzie alone decided to push the pedal to the floor and demand the ultimate speed of that vehicle to 90 to 100 miles per hour. She alone decided what was to be. Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day, and she alone made that decision for Dominic and Davian, and she continuously acted in a manner to achieve her purpose. The The totality of the evidence clearly demonstrates that Mackenzie Shirilla acted purposely and intentionally in the early morning hours of July 31st, 2022, and her purpose was to kill Dominic Russo and Deacon Flanagan. No reasonable fact finder could view the totality of this evidence in this case and come to any other conclusion. Her actions were controlled, methodical, deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. This was not reckless driving. This was murder. Court renders the following verdicts. Count 1. The court, having had count 1 tried to pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02a, is charged in count 1. Count 2. The court, having had count 2 tried to pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit Davion Flanagan, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02a, is charged in count 2 of the indictment.
So, as you obviously saw, the judge found her guilty of everything. It was obvious she intended to do this. But Mackenzie said, no, not so fast. This was an accident, a horrible accident, and she didn't mean to do this. So Mackenzie, with her mom, appealed this verdict. Here is Mackenzie's mom even telling the judge in the courtroom that this was an accident and that the judge was wrong.
I'm hearing an awful lot about your daughter. I'm not hearing very much about the 2 dead people.
Dominic, okay, I'm asking you for leniency because this was a tragic accident that she does not remember. And Davion, he's a new friend, and I'm so sorry.
What does that mean? His life is worthless?
No. Okay. God, no, not at all. They all loved each other. They all spent every day together. You know what I mean? I don't know too much for him.
Isn't that part of the problem, Mrs. Shirilla?
Sorry?
Isn't that part of the problem, that they all trusted each other? Isn't that part of...
It's not a problem at all. It was wonderful.
It's a problem how they all ended up in the car together and 2 of them ended up dead.
I understand what it looks like. I'm saying that it was a tragic accident. She would never.
But we're going to have to disagree on that.
I understand.
Right. And I respect your position, but you disagree with me.
I understand.
Now, before she was sentenced, Mackenzie even made a statement saying, hey, this was a horrible accident.
I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken. I love Dom and Davion. We were all friends and Dom was my soulmate. I wish I could take all your pain away. And I'm so sorry. And to my family, thank you for the support and all the love you guys give. Thank you for fighting with me. I love you all so much.
Now, prosecutors came prepared for a tearful young woman by playing what Mackenzie did right after the accident to show how sorry she was that her friends had died.
Shortly after the crash, Strongsville police were notified that they had received concerning emails from the community that the defendant and her mother were seeking employment with the Los Angeles modeling agency. Kenzie Shirilla said to Batali, "Thank you for the comment. I would love to work with you guys. I've been emailing you guys a lot. Such a great opportunity. Thank you."
Is there a date?
There is not a date on this, Your Honor. Based on the investigation, it was delivered to the police while the defendant was still in the Metro Health Hospital. So it was during that time period. She was in the hospital for several weeks. Shortly after being released from the hospital, the police were provided additional videos of the defendant from her wheelchair as she attended a concert down in the Flats. And again, Your Honor, I'm introducing these to the court to show the shocking lack of remorse. This was something that was being exhibited while the investigation was still going on, before she was charged and arrested in November of last year. And these were the sort of things that were coming to the police, and the shocking lack of remorse, coupled with the fact that the defendant was reported driving an automobile shortly after this event, that she was seen in Strongsville again driving a car, in spite of the fact that, as her mother testified, she got dizzy sometimes from a condition that she had to take salt pills for, in spite of the fact that it was in fact her mother who provided her with the car that she used to take Dominic and Davion's life.
12 weeks later, on October 31st, 2022, Mackenzie had recovered enough to celebrate Halloween. She and her friends went out on the town trick-or-treating, dressed as corpses. In a corset and heavy makeup, Mackenzie was almost unrecognizable. She certainly looked nothing like the grieving victim of a horrific auto accident who'd lost her boyfriend only 3 months before.
So with all that, the judge sentenced Mackenzie to 15 years to life.
The difficulty for sentencing today, honestly, is whether or not I believe you should get consecutive sentences.
But she gave her instead 15 years to life for both murders, with the 2 sentences to be served concurrently. She will be eligible for parole in 15 years.
15 years for 2 murders, 2 intentional murders, is a sweetheart deal. But Mackenzie believes she should get no time. So she appealed, saying that this was a tragic accident and the judge got it wrong. Here's what the appeals court said.
The 8th District Court of Appeals was brief in upholding Mackenzie Sharilla's conviction, with the review taking less than a single page on its most recent decision list. The court pointed to evidence and data that was pulled from the car Sharilla crashed. The accelerator was depressed to 100% before impact, and the driver never attempted to hit the brakes before the car crashed into a wall, killing 19-year-old Davion Flanagan and 20-year-old Dominic Russo. An inspection later revealed no mechanical issues that would have caused the crash.
I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose.
The court also took into account Sharilla's history with Russo, her boyfriend. Court documents state Sharilla had previously threatened to crash her car with her boyfriend inside, exactly what she ended up doing. The court ruled evidence of her past threats, along with verbal and physical violence against her ex-boyfriend, was appropriately introduced to establish motive and intent in the case.
So the appeals court said, hey, it's obvious you intentionally tried to do this, so you got a sweetheart deal with the 15 years to life, meaning that Mackenzie will not be eligible for any type of parole until the year 2038. All right, I'm gonna say it. I think the sentence is BS. I think this woman should be serving 30 years. She intentionally took 2 lives, intentionally did this, and is only serving 15 years. There are cases out there where people by accident kill people and get 15 years to life. So I don't know what it is with this court, but Mackenzie should definitely be doing more time. Now, tell me whatever in the comment section. Tell me, hey Nate, you got this all wrong. This was a total accident and everybody's just misunderstanding what really happened here. But on your way out, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do like great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace.